Hello and welcome to Car and Bike, the 125cc scooter comparison that perhaps you've been waiting for. The Hero Xoom 125, the newest kid on the block, goes up against the popular TVS NTorq 125. In this comparison, we'll try to test both these bikes back to back. We'll look at the features, we'll look at functionality, we'll look at practicality, we'll look at comfort, and eventually try to tell you which one of these two scooters should you choose if you're in the market for a sporty 125cc scooter. But before that, please do consider liking the Car and Bike channel. If you haven't yet, hit that bell icon so that you get notified every time we ride a new scooter, a new motorcycle, drive a new car, compare different cars, different bikes, and tell you all about it. For now, let's take a close look at the design of both these beautiful, sharp-looking scooters and the features and what each scooter offers. Now let's take a look at how both these scooters look, starting off with the new Xoom 125. Just take a look at it. In the 125cc scooter space, there's nothing quite like it in the market right now. It looks big, it looks muscular, particularly with those 14-inch wheels front and rear. It has that visual appeal, and if you're looking for road presence, this one certainly has it all. Now the design is subjective, of course. Different people have different preferences. I quite like the design overall, but I think the panels are a little busy for my liking. I would have liked slightly more sleeker panels, but that's only me. But overall, if street presence is what you're looking for, the Xoom 125 has it in spades. It's modern, it's contemporary, it looks bulky, it looks big. So it has that sort of maxi scooter look in the 125cc segment, if you will, and that is how it looks. And it gets LED headlights, LED indicators, and talking about indicators, it has sequential turn indicators, which is a segment first. No other 125cc scooter has those sequential indicators that is available on the Xoom 125. On the features list, you have a LCD screen with Bluetooth connectivity, which will give you turn-by-turn navigation and all that. And that's how it looks. You let us know what you think of the design of the Xoom 125. Now comparatively, the TVS NTorq 125, it's a 7-year-old design. The NTorq 125 was launched first in 2018. It's already been 7 years. So it's been a few years in the making, but it still looks quite nice, quite sharp, quite sporty, and there are a lot of variants available on the NTorq. There are Super Squad variants with different colors, Marvel-inspired colors. This is the Race XP with ride modes and all that. And although it's aged a bit, it still looks quite sharp, quite attractive. And I think so far, this has been one of the best looking 125cc scooters so far, until this came in the picture. Now again, design is subjective. You let us know in the comments which of these two scooters in the design department do you prefer and why. Now time to take a look at the features that each of these scooters offer. Now both scooters get LCD consoles and both get Bluetooth connectivity. Of course, the NTorq has an upper hand in terms of it offers ride modes, especially on this XP variant, Race XP variant, which the Hero Xoom 125 doesn't get. Overall layout of the instrument console more or less similar, but it's the NTorq which has got better visibility in terms of the readout of the instrument console. Now looking at the switches, the Hero's got this nice looking switches, of course, but the high beam, low beam, the I3S system and all that, even the indicators, they are not so solid as the ones on the NTorq. The NTorq switches feel more precise, slightly more precise. It's not to say that these are bad, but those feel slightly more robust than the one on the Hero Xoom 125. The Xoom 125 also get these two compartments on the top spec variant at least, where you can keep small things, and you get a Type A charging socket right here, so you can charge your phone on the go over here. Now let's take a look at the under-seat storage space. On the Xoom 125, you can remotely open it straight from the ignition key. and it gets 17 liters of underseat storage, but it's got a handy light for your storage space. So this is a small size full face helmet. If you wear a size M or large, perhaps it won't fit, but a small size helmet just about manages to fit into the underseat storage compartment of the Hero Xoom 125. Now it gets a hook here, of course, to carry your knickknacks, but if you want to carry something like a bag or a small grocery bag, and if you place it here, then your foot space for your feet is slightly compromised. So a small bag perhaps you can carry, or a small grocery bag, but a slightly bigger size you will have to compromise on your foot space on the floorboard. So what it doesn't get, the Hero Xoom 125, is a parking brake. In 2025, a brand new scooter from Hero, come on. A parking brake is a handy feature to have, particularly for those of you who ride in the hills, you live in hilly towns. A parking brake is really essential when you're parked on a slope, downhill or uphill. A parking brake will keep your scooter secure, and that is missing on the Xoom 125. There's one more feature, or a lot of features, on the ignition console. It's a multi-function key, so you can operate the seat hatch from here, open it from there, and you can also open the remote hatch straight from the ignition key. And if you forget, or the petrol pump attendant forgets to shut it, and you try to put it on, then there's a buzzer. You can hear that buzzer. That's an alarm that your fuel hatch is open, and until you close it, the buzzer will be on. Nifty feature to have. Now time to take a look at what all does the NTorq offer. Like I said before, the NTorq offers good switchgear, feels more solid, more robust, slightly more robust and solid than the Hero Xoom 125 switches. So they switch into place, click into place quite precisely. So that's a good feeling to have on a scooter like this. And this also gets two things on the switchgear console which you don't get on the Xoom 125. Number one is a kill switch. It comes with a kill switch which the Xoom 125 doesn't get, and it also gets a hazard light switch which the Hero Xoom 125 doesn't get. More importantly, this is a functional thing to have, the parking brake. A lot of you guys ride this NTorq 125 in hilly towns everywhere. This is a nifty thing to have, and I think Hero really missed out on that one as a parking brake. That's a very handy thing to have. That is what it misses. But on the key, you can only lock the steering, and that's about it. To go to the open the hatch, you will have to get down, slot a key here, and open the seat. And talking about the seat, let's see if we can fit in my helmet on the NTorq. It's got more storage. It's got about 22 liters of underseat storage, and I'll try and place my butt. No, you can't place a helmet, a full face helmet, that is a small half face helmet. You possibly can fit in the NTorq, but with a full face helmet, you will not be able to shut the seat. But overall, in terms of space, it's got more space, 22 liters of under-seat storage space. You also get a USB charging point, but it is on the under-seat storage. It is not easily accessible. So if you need to charge your phone, you will have to put your phone in the under-seat storage box. So more space, yes, but helmet space, no. And unlike the Xoom, where you can operate the fuel lid right from the ignition console, on the NTorq you will have to get down at fuel stations to open this lid. So you can't operate it while sitting here. Well, you can, but it's too much of a problem trying to slot the key there. You'll have to get down and then open the fuel lid. Small things, but more convenience on the Xoom 125, which has got a multi-function key, but this one, your remote hatch operation, remote seat, you will have to slot your key here to open the boot or open the fuel hatch. So those are the things the NTorq still doesn't get. You will have to get down. It's a small inconvenience, but nice things to have. Now the NTorq also gets slightly more footboard space than the Hero Xoom 125, but if you were to carry a bag, it's got this hook but nothing on this. There's one hook here also. So two hooks to carry your groceries and the like. But again, if you have to put a bag there, It's yeah, slightly better than the Xoom 125. With both my feet planted, there's ample space to move my feet around. So with this size of a bag placed on the footboard, it has got more space on the footboard. So if you want to carry shopping and the like, two hooks here, one at the front and one here under the seat. So more space there. But what you don't get are these cubby holes that the Xoom 125 gets. There are no cubby holes here, but it frees up more space to hang a bag or two from here and from here. So more footboard space, slightly more footboard space on the NTorq 125. Let's start with the engine and performance of the new kid on the block, the Hero Xoom 125. If you ride this bike or get to ride this bike, the first thing that will immediately impress you without a doubt is the refinement of the engine and the linear fashion in which it picks up speed. It's really, you can't even notice how much speed it's picked up. It's so smooth, the exhaust note is so mellow, you won't even realize you've hit 70, 80. It's that smooth, that linear. So all those bases are covered: engine refinement, acceleration, speed, and I've seen a top speed of over 100 kilometers per hour on the highway, 106, 107 coming down a flyover. 90, 93 kilometers you can easily cruise at, no problems whatsoever. So this has got the punch, or does it have the punch to upseat the TVS NTorq, the popular choice in this segment. Now the NTorq, the best part about this scooter is the moment you start it is that it's got a gruffy exhaust note that's quite likable. For those of you who like your engines to make some sound, whatever little sound, the NTorq's exhaust note gives you that feel of that raw guttural feel, which is quite enjoyable. And this is not to say that this is slow by any standards. It's probably marginally quicker than the NTorq 125, but this also has very good highway manners, very good high-speed capability, and on those factors you will not be disappointed with the NTorq 125 as well. It may be old, but it's been proven, it's tried and tested, and there's a reason for that. That engine, the performance, all those bases on the NTorq still in 2025 will not disappoint you. Now coming back to the big wheels on this, the 14-inch wheels, how much of a difference do they make? Do they make any difference? Yes, they make a discernible difference in the high-speed stability when you're going flat out, when you're going on a bad road. Of course, the bigger wheels make you feel more planted, more stable on the Hero Xoom 125. So the stability, the high-speed stability, all that straight line stability, the Hero Xoom 125 inches ahead slightly. But on the ride quality front, although it is not very stiff, not uncomfortable, but this does tend to feel a bit bouncy over broken roads compared to the NTorq 125. It will not throw you off, but you will feel a little bounce. And like I said before, the ergonomics and that bouncy, slightly bouncy ride quality makes the Hero Xoom feel slightly unsettled despite the bigger 14-inch wheels. The NTorq, on the other hand, has got a cushier, more comfortable planted ride quality. It's more cushy, more plush, even over bad roads. This is the scooter, despite the smaller wheels, which feels more comfortable over broken roads. Now, these are meant to be sporty scooters. Both of them handle pretty well on a twisty road, but the chassis, the suspension, the wheels, the entire package of the dynamics, it is the NTorq, strangely, which still has the upper hand. It gives you more confidence around corners, even if you don't ride it that way. In case of an emergency, I feel the NTorq has a slight edge in the dynamics department. This feels more planted, more confident when pushed hard compared to the Xoom 125. So dynamics, I will say the NTorq still is slightly ahead of the Hero Xoom 125. Now brakes, both of them have got similar setups, pedal disc front and drum brakes at the rear. The Xoom's got very good stopping power, the combined braking system works really well, but it is the NTorq which has a slight edge in braking performance, which gives you slightly more confidence in stopping power. So in the braking department as well, it's the NTorq which edges ahead. So now let's take a look at the ergonomics and the riding position of both these scooters. The Xoom 125 has a slightly taller seat height, roughly about 777 millimeters or thereabouts. Now, for reference, my height is 5 feet 9 inches, and as you can see, I can flat feet both sides quite comfortably. So no complaints there. But if your height is 5'6" or below that, perhaps you will need to tiptoe like this on the Xoom 125. What is also a little different on the Xoom is the steering position, the handlebar position feels slightly low, particularly when you're riding, not so much on a standstill, but it's something to get used to. And when you're taking U-turns, that handlebar brushes across your thigh. Now my height is still manageable, but for somebody taller, like somebody who's 5'10", 5'11", maybe 6 feet plus, this could be a slight issue while taking U-turns on the Xoom 125. Now this is also the slightly heavier scooter at 120 kg, but still quite manageable if you have to push it around parking lots and the like. So the seat is slightly on the tall side. So depending on your height, you need to test it, see if it's comfortable enough for you, it's accessible enough for you, depending on what kind of height or if you're comfortable with this kind of scooter. The seat also has a slight slope towards the front, which is not so much a problem per se, but yes, it gets some getting used to. With the slightly low handlebar, that takes some time getting used to, but it's not so much a problem. Now let's take a look at the TVS NTorq. It's got a more accessible seat height of about 700 mm, and as you can see, I have a slight bend on my leg while flat footing both sides. So this is the more accessible scooter, and the handlebar reach is also slightly higher. For me, I like this riding position better than the slightly lower position of the Hero Xoom 125. But again, that's a case of personal choice. What ergonomics work for you? If you're 5'6", 5'5", 5'7", the NTorq would perhaps be the more comfortable scooter for you. But then again, check both these scooters out in terms of ergonomics, in terms of riding position, which one suits you better. The Xoom, of course, gives you a taller view, a higher view, a better view of the road ahead, courtesy the slightly taller seat. But this one also is very comfortable in terms of ergonomics. So time now to tell you the final verdict. Which one of these two scooters should you choose if you were to buy one of these two in the market today? Now the answer to that question is not as simple as this is better or this is better, because there are a lot of things, a lot of different features, a lot of different permutations, combinations, factors, depending on personal choice. Now if you want a fresh looking scooter which is completely new, completely different, of course the Hero Xoom 125, hands down, this is the scooter you should go for, because the NTorq, whatever said and done, is quite popular. It's seen easily everywhere on the streets. If you want something different, then the Hero Xoom 125 should be your default choice. Having said that, the Hero Xoom 125 also gets a few nifty features which the NTorq 125 doesn't get, and it's an old scooter right now, 7 years old, although it still looks contemporary. But if you want that exhaust note, if you want sharp handling, even though it's only slightly better, my pick would be the NTorq still, considering it's still an old scooter over the Hero Xoom 125. Now, if you were to buy, my advice to you is take a test ride of both these scooters back to back. The answer will be clear as day to you which one you should go for. But do not take that decision just based on the looks, just based on the features. Take a test ride. Then it will be clear as day which one of these scooters you should go for. Now when it comes to the price, the Xoom 125 has got an attractive price point. The base variant is available at around 87,000 rupees ex-showroom, going up to 93,000 for the fully loaded top spec ZX variant, which is this one. The NTorq, on the other hand, also starts at 87,000 rupees ex-showroom, but it's got a lot of variants with different features, different color options, so you get a lot of variety and going up to over a lakh for the price point. And having said that, whatever said and done, this is a tried and tested, proven product which has been on the streets for over 7 years now. This is still new. How they age, you've already seen with the NTorq 125. How this ages, what is the service cost, how does it handle over, how does it performs over a longer period of time, that is still to be known. But Hero's got a solid service network, so I think those bases should be covered. Eventually, it's your choice. Take a test ride. You can't go wrong with choosing either the Hero Xoom 125 or the TVS NTorq 125. Now, if you've liked this comparison, please do share it with someone who may be interested in picking either one of these two scooters. And thank you for watching. If you ride a two-wheeler, please wear a helmet and be safe on the road.